Something happened in the Padres Cubs game that you will never see again starting next season. I promise you. You will never see Xander Bogaerts get called out on a 3-2 pitch that was a ball in the ninth inning. You will never see the manager come out and lose his mind but not get ejected, although he should have gotten ejected. You will see the automatic ball strike system, the challenge system in place, and I am so thankful. If I am a Padres fan and I am watching that game and I know that I need ninth inning runs, I know that Tatis, Arias, and Machado cannot get a hit. I know that I need base runners. I need something. And instead I get a strikeout. You can imagine why the reaction of the Padres was what it was. Take a look at that. You don't see that every day. Let me explain what that was for those of you not watching on Nothing Personal with David Samson YouTube channel. We have, when we built a ballpark, you have an entrance for the umpires to get access to the field, and you've got players who get into the dugout directly from their respective clubhouses. In Chicago, this game was at Wrigley Field. The umpires access the umpires room by going down the dugout steps of the visiting team, because the umpire clubhouse is on the visiting side always, because the home side has extra weight rooms, it has extra sleep rooms and restrooms. You put most of your square footage, as much as you can, on the side where the home team is. Umpires and supplementary dressing rooms and guest green rooms and all sorts of stuff. You put it all on the visitor's side because the visitors' facilities are just not as nice. So these umpires had to walk right past the Padres dugout, through it, and at the end of the game. And the Padres players had to be held back. It looked as though they were rabid fans going after players from a hated rival, when in fact these were professional athletes who had just lost a game that, even if Bogaerts' call had been correct, there is no way to know they would have won the game. It was not that direct. It wasn't like a ball four would have forced in the winning run type of thing. It would have added a base runner, there's no question. It could have changed the inning, no doubt. Would it have made a difference? Who knows? But these Padres players were out of control. Do I think that Michael Hill will be forced to fine the organization and the players? I don't know whether he will, but I know I would. Those umpires were not safe. They had to be held back, the Padres players, by clubhouse staff. Of course, any new ballpark that's built, Wrigley Field's not new, any new ballpark, separate exits off the stadium, off the field for the umpires. But I do know that next year, that's done. What I know is that when Yu Darvish starts as a 39-year-old in a elimination game and gets pulled in the second inning because his leash is so small, and you realize the amount of money that he's being paid at his age, and you remember you can't pay pitchers who are in their upper 30s. When you put together an offense and you pay for a player like Luis Arias, you give a long-term deal to Tatis, to Machado, and then you realize that in a short series, they can take the collar in the games that you lose. If you take 2 games of collars and you only need to lose 2 games to be eliminated, and then it happens, you realize how crazy baseball is, which is why you can't be financially irresponsible. The Padres, who are financially responsible. Now, you want to get at me at David P. Samson. You want to get in the chat at Nothing Personal with David Samson and talk about the Padres' finances. Please, bring it. I will go through year by year and explain to you how it is that they lose more money than I can tell you, and how they take temporary bridge loans to make payroll because their payroll is so irresponsibly high. I can go through why it is that AJ Preller is a fiscally irresponsible general manager, convincing his owners, I've got you covered. He doesn't have them covered. Yes, they sell out. Yes, they have the most season ticket holders they've had in forever. Yes, it's an unbelievably cool stadium area district in San Diego. Yes, I couldn't be happier and more proud of the city that is San Diego and the way they embrace their team. But the Padres cannot be the Dodgers. They can't keep signing the multi-year huge contracts. It just doesn't work. So now the Padres are out in the wild card. Still no World Series. What do? To me, it is very simple. You have to have someone in the GM role. And AJ Preller is going to keep his job. How he does is a mystery to everyone in baseball. But good for him. He's going to have to keep his job. They're not going to let him go, but they need to put more financial constraints on him because it's another year where you look back and say, oh, we did not accomplish what we set out to accomplish. The postseason media availability for the Padres will be more fascinating than that of the other eliminated teams in this round. More fascinating than the Guardians, than the Padres. Who was I talking about? Then the Red Sox, I mean. Then the Reds. Those are the eliminated teams. You know my point. I can't wait to hear AJ Preller talk. And he will.